Alright, in this video, let's try to refactor the agent manager. Here's agent manager, and it's responsible for creating monsters, agents. And it has a dependency on this recast plugin and the crowd. So the first thing we want to do is not depend on that. So, um, so what creates agent manager is, I think, nav manager. Nav manager creates an agent manager. And so maybe we don't need a nav manager anymore. So what creates a nav manager is the scene manager, nav manager. Okay, so it's created when a scene is created. And so maybe we'll replace nav manager with agent manager. Okay, so we'll comment this out. And we'll say that we need we'll comment this out first and remove all instances of this nav manager. So we won't have a nav manager here. I'm going to remove these since these don't seem to be used here. We will remove nav manager here. And here's some red. Okay. So this checks to see if there is any spawner, and for every spawner that you do, you're creating, you're asking agent manager to add a spawn point. So we will comment this out for now, and then if a nav manager was created, you say start spawning and plan. Okay, so let's comment this out here. The other thing, so let's see what happens. If this is the case, does the, okay, we have some errors here. I think nav manager does not exist on scene manager. Scene manager line 362. Okay, we got red here. Yeah, okay. Parse the initial scene, gets this, and then it calls nav manager to make a load mesh. So I think if I comment this out, it just won't create it won't load the navigation mesh at all. Yeah, that's true. We don't have a nav mesh. Do we have another scene? No, that's the only scene that we have. Okay, so that's fine and good. And we want to create a new or modify agent manager. Now, what was nav manager responsible for? I think it was just loading the recast plugin and then making a call. So we got the CRF token so we can make an AJAX request. So here was listening for any kind of event of something transformed or deleted in order to call a method for uncached nav mesh. And then here in half a second it was loading the plugin, creating the crowd, and then the scene mesh would call load or make nav mesh, and this was fetching any binary data if it was there, and if it wasn't there, it was baking it. It was doing all kinds of stuff. So I think this is good. It removes some complexity. I'll keep the controller stuff there, but I don't think we need the nav manager at the moment. We don't need to delete this code, but we don't need to call it. Agent manager can probably stand on its own. So an agent manager, let me change the constructor to not depend on the recast plugin and the crowd. We still take member ID in our scene, and what does it have here? So we have agent spawn points. because they can be added, and we're just collecting them. So there's a name for the spawn point, and what is this thing? I suppose this can be the data for it. Yeah, I think this is the data. Member states. Why do we need member states here? Okay, and then we have a collection of agents, which has an agent index, the abstract mesh, the visibility cone, the transform, moving. I think we should make another class. We should make another class for agent. So where is all this? Scene, nav manager, agent manager, and we'll make a class for agent. How about that? Agent, export class agent, and let's say that this can represent an enemy or non-playable character. And the constructor will have some kind of, let's give it some kind of name or ID. Some kind of ID. Should we make a message out of this? Do we have a message for this? Member spawned. How about agent? Yeah, we do. Agent spawned. So I think agent spawned could maybe just come up with the same thing as an ID and a name. We can have an ID. And agents directed, you just get a collection of agents and their respective names, the previous position they were in, and the next position you want them to go in, followed by a delay. Okay. Maybe it should be name and then instruction, like telling it what to do. And then we can parse that out. So we'll get to that later. Okay, first let's save the type changes. So we have agent spawn has an ID, name, and a position for where to spawn it. That seems fine. Agent will be created with the ID is a string, the name is a string, the position is a number array, and give us a scene, which is a Babylon scene. And we'll import type everything as Babylon from Babylon.js, and we'll make all of these just members, public members. Okay, so this is an agent, and then we want to draw the agent. Okay, so an agent manager, what did we do? I think we had a create agent thing in here, right? Create agent, okay. So these were parameters, so here's our here's our mesh stuff. So we'll go to agent, and we'll just say this create body, I suppose, and create body. We'll do all of this stuff. We'll create a head. So we need to remove the type, and we're gonna say the head of the name, this name, and we'll have create cylinder, and this will be site for this name, and then these two things. Oh, it has a body, so you have like a body for this name, and then you're going to merge the head and the body, and then you add some targetable to this mesh, and it has dispose of source is true. Let's say mesh.id is equal to this ID, and then actually mesh name is just this name. So these don't actually need names. Transform becomes okay, it needs a name and the scene. Okay, then we have a transform node. So we'll call this something transform of this name, this scene, and then mesh parent becomes a transform. Corner site is parented to the mesh. Okay, and simply return the transform if you want it. Nobody needs to use it. I think we do this create body thing. And that gives us present. Doesn't give us any movement, but it'll create something. Okay, so agent manager should manage a list of spawn points. It should manage a list of agents. What's using member states? Maintain a list of member states, and we get member states changed. We set that, and about agents. Let's see. We want to count members. Oh, okay. We want to scale the number of agents according to the number of players. Okay, so I guess that's useful. I think I have a better way of doing this, which is to scan over different messages and then maintain a count, and then you can listen for a count. Because I don't think I actually need to know what the states are. Okay, so let me do a bit of refactoring. So take out the member states. Agents will be, let's say, a kind of agent. So we'll import the agent. And constructor is, we have spawn points, agents, and then we want to what is this? Create new spawn agents, move agents. And what is this? Manage agent hit, support agent rotation, crowd, reaching the point. Okay, bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff. Let me make some more space here. Alright, let me get a working state first. So let me comment everything out that we're not dealing with right now. Alright, we want to add an agent spawn point. That still holds up. I think agent spawn points, give that. And why does this be named true? That's it? Agent spawn points is just a spawn point of any? What are we doing with this agent spawn point? I think you're just iterating through them. What's the data for an agent spawn point? So when we add a spawn point, what goes in there? So we can create a spawn point from the schema. Create an enemy spawner, create enemy spawner. This will go create entity enemy spawner with params, and it's just the space ID, and that's it. It takes a space ID and a position. Okay. And then what do we do with that argument? So that's the params. Create entity with params. It's going to create components out of every param, so that'll give it a position with okay. So we should expect the agent is created with position, and agent spawner is also created with a position. So let's do that. Let's say that an agent manager, it's this plus, how about a vector 3? Okay, that's more useful. That's where you're going to spawn things. Okay, so when we want to add the agent spawn point, here's the name, and here's the position, which is a, let's say this is a number array, and we'll just say this is a Babylon vector 3 from array. Okay, so add spawn point. Add agent spawn point, yeah. This is where agents add a location where new agents, enemies spawn out of to fight our heroes. Get a random agent. Okay, this might be useful, is that you go through the object keys and then you find a random, okay, get random agent, seems fine. Agent sees me is if the visibility cone So it's a test. Given the visibility cone and your position, you want to see if it intersects your position. So given an agent, I think this should be an agent. So we'll cut this, put it into the agent side. Okay, agent can see position, give a position is a Babylon vector 3. So if this, okay, we need to store our visibility cone. So then we need public visibility cone is a Babylon abstract mesh, and we'll say that that's this. Copy. I think it's a control D. Yes. Cone of sight. Cone of sight. So if the cone of sight intersects with this position, return true, otherwise return false. So, okay, what else here? Scene agent, what's this for? This agent sees me. Given a bunch of avatars, you're going to loop through every avatar and find the first avatar that you see. Okay, so I think this should also be, this would return the position of the avatar that you see. Scene agent. So that seems weird here. This is given a visibility cone, so you're looking at one agent and checking every avatar. Okay, I think that should be on the agent. So copy that. It's named weird. Closest point to agent scene. So okay, I want to see. Given a list of avatars. First scene avatar. Loops through all avatars and returns first one found that is within the cone of visibility. So we have a avatars, which might be a list of avatar. And we'll just paste this code here. So go through every avatar and see if the avatar intersects. What is the avatar? Oh, this is an abstract mesh. Okay, so this can be meshes. We built a list of avatars, right? Let's just do this. Abstract mesh. Red one. And go through all the avatar meshes and see if it intersects this visibility tone of sight. If so, return the avatar mesh's position. So this is going to return otherwise. Oh. Okay, if you don't see it intersect any avatar mesh, you're going to see if it returns this position. So this is going to return a Babylon vector 3 or null. So can see position between this scene, active camera position. Okay, can see position. So this can't be a true or false. So we'll return the position, or we'll return null. And closest point to a scene agent. Not sure why we need this yet. Send agent movements. I think we'll probably just redo all of this. Just get rid of this. Plan movement for all agents. We want to count agents. We want to count members. One chance in X. Okay, start spawning. We can remove the create agent. Okay, delete agent. We'll just ask the agent to delete itself. Cut. Remove that. Let's just implement dispose. Whoa. So that removes. So we'll just remove. So all of our meshes. We have the code of site, and then I think we have the body and the transfer. So this becomes the body, actually. This becomes body, and then we have a transfer. head and body, and then you merge them both into this body. So this body, and then transform became this transform. And I don't think we need to return anything now. So what we'll do is when we dispose, we'll just destroy everything. So this cone of sight, dispose. This body, dispose. This transform, dispose. And I think that is it. Clean up after itself. So let's just start all over with this. Just remove this. We'll be fine. Add agent spawn point. Get random agent. We need to create a new agent. Okay, so we go create agent. This will just say this agent's so we need to emit a message, right? So, and then listen to our own message. Do a get diff. I don't know where to. Doesn't matter. Just create it again. So we need to emit. And an agent was spawned. So we get diff rep spawned. There it is. This is in the types though. Alright, create agent. We need to emit something that looks like this. So we're going to create a ID which is UID v4 UID. Oh, do they have a unique generator? don't know where it is. What was it called? Unique ID generator? Javelin, unique ID generator. Dot unique ID. Avalon, unique ID generator. Oh, this isn't put, is it? I don't know. Whatever, don't need it. Where's the thing where I create UUIDs? UUID. Import v4. I need this guy. And the name will be agent and import random ID from utils. Oh, we got it already. And position, which is some number. So let payload equal that. Okay, so that creates a payload. Then we just want to go to signal hub and go outgoing, emit event with this event. Let's call this an event. And this thing says it won't work. Argument type event name agent spawned. It's not assignable to a type of event. Type of M are not compatible. Event name. And it's totally compatible. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a type of event. Imported from subtypes. Okay. So that should create an agent. Agent manager, create agent. And now you need to respond to this is more like create agent event, and our listener should subscribe to agent created event. this is going to be listening to Signal Hub and incoming on event, and you want to filter or pipe, and then filter by the event message is equal to event name dot agent spawned. So we react to that, and then we will take the event, which contains what? It will actually create the agent, create agent, I'll just say add agent, and give me the what's in the message. Here's the message: ID, name, and position. So we'll take the ID, the name, position, and we'll just call new agent, which takes an ID, name, and position, and add that to this agent's name equal. So the scene. And so we'll do that here is the this add agent with event payload ID, event payload name, and event payload position. And these are all okay. Coming back to an agent. That's fine. Okay, so agent manager requires the scene. So once again, we'll create this in scene manager. When the create scene is done, we'll do this at the end. Oh boy. Avatar manager, yes. And in this agent manager will equal new agent manager. Give it this member ID, not sure what we need that for, and this same. Agent manager, we need to just define this type. So it is there. Let's see, there is an error here. Scene manager, nav manager, where? Where? Okay. Agent manager no longer takes these things. Sure. I mean, we don't need to create this anymore. Still. Cannot find agent manager. What's up now? Let's take this out. Okay. Alrighty then. So we have scene manager, agent manager, not defined. Let's see, scene manager, agent manager, manager is set up here. So why doesn't scene manager have one? Let's refresh. Why is this undefined? This is created when you create the scene, agent manager. How about avatar manager? Is there an avatar manager? Yeah. There's just no agent manager. Why? Let's restart this. Okay, something was off. Okay, got a JavaScript error in agent manager. Why didn't it highlight in red? Agent manager, line 2, right there. Okay. Okay, now we have an agent manager. No spawn points. Let me delete something. Let's just ask it to emit a message. So agent manager, create agent event. There's our agent. Cool. All right, let's take a break.